everyone, my name is Alexandra and welcome to Creative 404. In today's video, we're going to create a pleated skirt for a Blythe doll. This video is actually brought to you by a commenter in my YouTube videos. So if you'd like to see more like this, feel free to comment in the comment section down below. If you really want to support this channel and you enjoyed having a free pattern from this channel, feel free to like the video that you received the pattern from, or subscribe if you'd like to see more patterns like it in the future. I've recently decided to merge both my channels together, so you will see some vlogs showing up and some old videos for the next couple of days. I hope you don't mind. This is part of the entertainment, and I hope you enjoy receiving more content from me. I also like to announce that I have a Discord channel. It's where I like to help all of my viewers and see what they're doing. I know a lot of people use Instagram, which I do have an Instagram if you'd like to follow it, but I think Discord is a little bit more hands-on. It's like an IM or instant messaging system and a forum all in one. So you can post pictures of your current projects so I can see, or you can ask for help if you need some extra help. I definitely want to be there for you and help you as much as possible. I think that's the great thing about being a YouTuber, and that's exactly what I decided to do this YouTube channel for, is to make friends and to build a community. So please enjoy this video. I really hope you like it, and let's get on with the tutorial. Alright, to get started, you can print out the pattern in the description box below. I have both US letter and A4 size for international. You can see on the bottom right there is an indication for scale. And as a disclaimer, I did use part of this pattern for the doll coordinate recipe, from the doll coordinate recipe. That's just the top band that I took, but I thought I should give a little disclaimer. First, you're going to cut out the pieces out of the fabric. You're going to need 2 of the top band, like I said, and then 1 of the skirt piece. As you print out your pattern from the description box below, please don't forget to give this video a like. I really appreciate it. As I start, I'm going to use some it's called air soluble or air erasable, but it's a water soluble pen. And I'm going to use it to really mark up this fabric, you'll see. I'm going to start by hemming up the bottom edge. And I want about 4 to 5 millimeters from the edge to mark. This is where the hem is going to be folded in. I kept making mistakes because this piece of fabric really wanted to bend, and I couldn't get the exact measurements that I wanted from the edge, especially that bottom right corner. You can see that it's just a lot skinnier than the top left corner. I really wanted it to be the same, so I went over and over trying to mark it so that it was all the same. I do have a hemming tool, but I couldn't find it at the moment, so I just used my ruler and my eyes. But there we go. It's not perfect, but it looks perfect in the end. I don't know why, but here we are. You see, it all looks the same width now. So I've sewn the top. Now I'm going to mark the pleats. So these are called box pleats. Box pleats. There we go. I can say words. And I'm marking all of the black lines. So ignoring the green lines, or the gray, depending if you printed this out in black and white ink, you're just going to do the middle and the 2 outer for each of the pleats. Now this is a very important part of the process, and it's very much a difficult process if you ask me. It's only because it's a little bit confusing. And I did forget to add a fray check on the edges. If I was making this piece for sale, I'll definitely put the fray check on the edges so it doesn't do that. As this is just for a tutorial, I didn't bother with the fray check at this time. So here's the pleats. The two outers meet, and that middle one meets the two outers. So you put them two together, the two outer pieces, and what I'm going to do is actually sew this piece right here so that the pleats stay closed. So this little edge here, I'm going to give it about 5 millimeters of a sewn edge. And then that middle piece will come to meet that sewn edge. So here I'm going to do it again. These two meet, and then that middle piece will come up to where those two meet. So here's the middle piece that I'm talking about. And it's going to be after every two. So this is just me trying to really get my head wrapped around these pleats, because it's a little bit confusing sometimes when you see all these little lines on a garment. So I'm marking the middle piece where the lines meet. And it's going to meet after every two markings. So I count two, and then on the third one, I make the line longer. So that is where the pleats meet, because this is a box pleat. Yay! Now I'm also going to mark the middle of the garment, and I do that by folding it in half and then marking the middle. You see? Now I'm going to make that marking all the way through the middle, and I'm going to mark it with an M so that I know that's the middle of the garment. This will come in handy when I start doing the top part or the top band of this garment. Okay, one more time. That middle piece goes out, and we're going to sew the two shorter links together. Then you'll go to the next two and sew those together. So here we go. It's sewn. And each of those middle pieces are now sticking out in the back. And what I'm going to do is iron these flat and then top stitch it with a basting stitch so that these box pleats stay flat. So here's the box pleat. That middle marking comes to meet those two edges. So let's get a little bit closer and I'll show you. Okay, see? It's going to look like this. Does that make sense? Okay, I've gone and ironed it flat. Then I did a basting stitch, which is my long stitch on my sewing machine, and I basted all those box pleats flat. And then I ironed it again. This was just the fastest way and easiest way for me to understand those darn pleats, because they were hell for me to do. So I'm so sorry if you struggle with it. And if you're not struggling with it, I envy you so much. So I'm folding the top band in half to find that middle mark. I'm going to line the middle marking from the top band with the middle marking of the skirt piece. And then I'm going to pin it together. So be right back. Got my pins. Now real quickly, I'm going to pin this piece together, and then I'm going to do the outer edge and then pin that together. And then I'm going to add 2 pins between the middle of that. So 1, here we go, and then 2. And that way the bottom part goes along the curve of the top part. So again, I'm just messing around with the pins right now. We got the middle piece. Now we're going to do the outer edge for the other side. I'm going to pin that together. And then I'm going to add 2 pins in the middle between the middle piece and the outer piece. So here we go, 1 and 2. Now I'm going to sew it together. I forgot to mention that when I sew, I use paper so that my garment, the fabric, doesn't fall into the sewing machine, which is where the bobbin comes from, the bobbin thread. So, and I also recycle old pattern pieces that failed. So you might see that pop up on occasion where I just have like random paper from other patterns pop up. So you're just doing the top edge. You sewn the top edge, and now we're going to do the back. And I actually made a huge mistake right before I did this. I actually sewn this one wrong. So I'm pulling out the extra thread that comes from ripping a piece of fabric from another piece of fabric. And I'm going to iron this flat just like this, and then I'm going to put this piece right sides together so that it aligns like that. So the two top pieces are now aligned right sides together. So I'm going to iron this and then sew it. So here it is sewn. I went down one edge and I left the other edge. So on the left edge I sewed all the way down, and I'm going to clip it so that that edge has a, what is it called, a point where that corner is. So I'm flipping that inside, right sides out, and I'm fixing that corner so it's nice and sharp. And then I'm folding this pieces back so that they're right sides out. Now look, this one's open, so don't do the sides on both of them. Just do the sides on one of them. And then you're going to iron this flat and do a top stitch so everything lies flat. So here it is with the tops. Well, actually here it is when I ironed it. And now I'm going to do the top stitching. See, now there's the top stitching. It's not perfect. My machine did not like the top edge, so don't feel bad if your garment isn't 100% perfect. This is just a tutorial, so I didn't mind it not being 100%. If this was a something I was selling, I would probably toss it out. I'm a big perfectionist, so. And here's the back. I marked about 1 inch from the bottom and then left the top portion open. Off camera, I'm going to add a snap to the top band and then clean up the garment so that it's nice and wet and it gets rid of all of that erasable ink, water erasable ink. And here it is on the doll. The garment is nice and clean. She has a t-shirt tucked into her skirt and it looks cute. I really like it. I think this came out nice and I'm really proud of it, and I hope you love it too. Okay, that was the tutorial. I hope you were able to follow along with it very well. I tried to cut out some pieces so it's not a very long video. And if you had some issues with the tutorial, feel free to join my Discord and ask for help, or just ask in the comments down below. Either way, I'll definitely see it and I'll help you out as much as possible. If you liked receiving this pattern, of course, don't forget to like the video. And if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. All that jazz, you know how it goes. That's what us YouTubers do. We like to say like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget the Discord channel. I'm not sure if I just mentioned it again or not. And enjoy. I really hope this brought you some joy and you can make whatever you'd like for your new Blythe doll, or your old Blythe doll, or whatever Blythe doll that you have in mind. Even if you don't have a Blythe doll, I hope you enjoy this tutorial anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye now.